It's Lori, Late Night Lori from Lori's Little Bit of Crafting. I am coming to you technically on Sunday, but we're going to count it as if it's Saturday because I did try to go on before midnight here in Wisconsin, but YouTube didn't want to play nice. So I'm still going to list this as November 1st. So our big join offer is over, but you can still join my team. It's just not as sweet a deal as it used to be. So if you are still thinking about joining Stampin' Up, you can still get lots of free stuff. And I would love to welcome you to my team anytime. So let me get my other devices going as well. Maybe. We'll see if they're going to play nice. Oh, there we go. I got volume. So I will see if anybody's joining me live. And I will try to keep up with the comments. Okay. We're getting there. There we go. We're almost there. We are almost there. I swear we're almost there. There. Now we're there. So, thank you for joining me. I am thinking this might be a short one today. I've had a busy day. I had to teach for the college earlier today, which was a lot of fun, actually. Hello, Linda. Welcome again from Modesta, California. Welcome, welcome. I am just getting started. So, YouTube wasn't playing nice, so I'm starting to get underway here. So you really haven't missed anything. Stampin' Up! Is having another craft class, a virtual craft class. So I'm seeing a pattern here. Hello, Vicki. Vicki W. O'Sullivan. You've not been here for a bit. Where have you been? So they did one of these in October. They're doing another one in November. The featured product for this one is going to be the Brushed with Beauty Sweet Collection. That becomes available on November 4th. All right. And there's a whole list of additional supplies to get. You've been busy in art. That's awesome. That's awesome. Being creative. Nothing wrong with that. So I thought I would pull out some older products that I've had. Still current stuff, but not the brandy new stuff. I've been trying to use a lot of the new stuff because it's fun when you get new stuff, right? You want to play with it. But this is the Perennial Lavender. Yeah, Perennial Lavender Designer Series paper. This has actually been around for a couple of different catalog cycles. So this was in a mini catalog. Actually, it's been for a couple here. September to December 2023. And I know it was really popular. And then it was in the 24 to 25 catalog. And now we still have it. I'm not sure if it is in the catalog or if it's an online exclusive. And I don't know that it really much matters. Oh, I suppose I should show you these. But it's a current product. And it's really pretty. And I love the purples. So this is Gorgeous Grape. There's Lost Lagoon in here. There's Shaded Spruce. What else is in here? Highland Heather, maybe. So there's some Berry Burst, Blackberry Bliss, Fresh Freesia, the Gorgeous Grape I mentioned, Highland Heather, Lost Lagoon. There's a couple of retired colors. So Orchid Oasis and Starry Sky were passed in colors. But then we've also got Pretty Peacock and Shaded Spruce. So they're really pretty papers. So Stampin' Up! Papers, obviously, if you've worked with us before, you know they're two-sided. And let me maybe zoom this in just a little bit. Hopefully it won't distort everything. Sometimes it goes a little wonky on me. So these are really pretty. There's just like flower sprigs there. And this is almost like a little tone-on-tone floral or foliage kind of design with some more flowers and butterflies on the back. Some of these you can tell I used most of the sheet, so it's almost gone. And some of these, I've had a couple of packs of this, so this is my last pack. But this is fun with the little sprigs on there. This one's pretty wild to me. It's wild, but it's pretty. And I think this would probably work really well with the cards we did the other night, where we used just a strip of designer series paper, where that would be toned down. If you don't like that intensity of the color, it would be toned down with an embossed layer. So I think that would be a pretty project to do with those. I may eventually do those too. Oh, and here's the back side. So these are actually like a foliage print that's subtle underneath these more obvious prints on the back. I showed you a piece of that before. And then we've got this piece, which probably would have been good for like a scrapbook or a memory keeping page. But I ended up cutting it up for cards. So let's get this out of the way. And since this is Perennial Lavender, I thought, well, why not pull out the Perennial Postage dies? I haven't used those for a while, but they are also still current. So we'll get this out of the way. And I tried to cut some of my things ahead of time just because I thought it would be easier. We still have to do the sentiment, but this is a new bundle with the new packaging that Stampin' Up! Has. Now, those of you that haven't been here for a bit, November starts the month where Stampin' Up! Is no longer producing red rubber stamps. Some people are really broken up about it. I'm not really that bothered by it because I really like the photopolymer ones because I can see through them for lining things up. So that's just a personal preference. But if you're a big fan of the red rubber, unfortunately, Stampin' Up's only going to sell out what they have. And everything new coming out is going to be photopolymer. Along with the red rubber stamps going out, the markers are going out. Not the alcohol blends, but the markers. All right. And I'm going to try to adjust this down just, oops, sorry if that bumped really hard. Just the markers. So the alcohol blends, they're still going to carry. Those are very popular. The markers, not so much. And a lot of people apparently use the markers more to color on those red rubber stamps. And since the red rubber stamps are going away, and I think a lot of that is product, raw material availability, and maybe the cost of that. But the markers, because those sales were declining as well, apparently, and people use them with the red rubber stamps, they are getting kind of retired at the same time. So this is a new set that's coming out. Excuse me. November 4th, I think, is when the new online exclusives get released. Because I'm a demonstrator, I was lucky enough to be able to pre-order some of the items that are going to be new online exclusive things. So this is the new packaging. So Stampin' Up! Is phasing out the CD cases. Okay, so you can see these are a little bit bigger. And they are a lot thinner. All right, so I can probably get at least 3 or 4 in the space where I used to have a CD case because there's a lot of empty space in here. So I'm actually pretty excited about that too because it's going to free up some storage space for me. And it's going to be nice that the stamp sets and the coordinating dies are in the same size package. And did you notice anything about these dies? The artwork is on the package. So that is something we've not had before. When we've had dies before, you get the wrapper and that's it. So that's why I've always put mine like this so I can see all of the dies. But there's no artwork on the insert for these. So that's it. That's all you get. So that's going to be nice to be able to look at a package and know that those are the dies that are in the container. And I think it'll make it easier too at a glance to know, oh, where's this die? Okay. I try to do what I call a head count before I put my dies away. And when I put them on a magnetic sheet, or even if I keep them in the wrapper, I try to mark how many dies are there so that as I'm putting it away, I count to make sure that I have everything. All right. So with this paper, let me peel this off of here. I decided to pull out a couple of different shades. Now, this is that one sheet that I said would be good on a scrapbooking page maybe, or memory keeping page. I cut it down and I used the die cut to make a perennial postage stamp image on it. I like this on the Gorgeous Grape. I think it's quite bold and stunning. But I think it would also look good on the Lost Lagoon. And that tones it down. It makes it a little more subtle. So let's think on that one. And if you have a preference, let me know which one we should play with. And then this one we can do on the opposite piece. This is an extra piece that I was just kind of looking to maybe do sentiments on. But I might do sentiments on Cupcake, or I might do sentiments on white. Sorry, I kind of have a frog in my throat. So I'm not really sure. I'm going to do just a simple sentiment from this stamp set. And I'm doing the You're on My Mind and in My Heart. I've got a couple of friends that I want to send kind of a thoughtful card to. Just because it's time to send them a card that reminds them that I'm thinking about them. So what are we thinking for this one? Do we want the Lost Lagoon to tone it down, or the Gorgeous Grape to keep it bright? Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. I have a little bit of delay, so if anybody's thinking on it, let me know. Type your answer in the comments. Add the green. That one you mean? So then we can put this one here and highlight that color. Okay. So like this, is that where we're thinking? This is a Lost Lagoon. It's kind of a bluish green, kind of a, I don't know, like a marine kind of green. I don't know, like an aqua marine. All right, so we'll do this. And then you can see where I took some of the Designer Series paper, and I like to do this where I cut the dies right out of the paper. Now, I've not played with this before. I got it as a pre-order item with the intention of playing with it and getting all kinds of samples done ahead of time. And of course, that didn't work out. So I die cut these minutes before I went live. But I like die cutting out of the Designer Series paper because it gives a nice variant color, you know, kind of variegated depending on what side of the paper you use. So I thought both of these would be pretty. So I've die cut some items already. And let me show you these dies, because this die will give you a cutout, and it'll give you a cutout of the image, okay, which is fun. You know, you can just have that stamped like that as a cutout image, and we may end up doing that. Or you can put this insert piece in here, and I've got all kinds of little bits left in here still. I like to kind of toss it down on my table and it gets all the little bits out. There's one more little bit stuck in here, but actually maybe a couple. There we go. All right, so I cut these out ahead of time just because I wanted to see how it looked, and I like both of those. But I think what I'm going to do is stamp these anyway, and hopefully I'll be able to get it to line up. We'll see. But we could also do it on like this Highland Heather, maybe. and just stamp that image and do the outline cut. So we'll see how it looks as we go along. But I thought these dies were cool because you can use it with just the outline or with the foliage outlines as well. And then some of these other pieces are pretty detailed. You only get 6 dies with these, but kind of you have the extra here because you can use that one 2 ways. But there's the little feathery foliage. There's the smaller foliage pieces. There's those same pieces with the longer stems. And then these more intricate leaves. And I thought what I would do is end up clustering those with a sentiment. So when I get a new set like this, I've not played with it. I haven't looked at anybody else's samples, so I haven't really seen what other people have done with it. But that's a good way to get inspiration. You know, go to Pinterest or to the Stampin' Up! Site or whatever and find people. And I just start cutting things out and then laying them together and seeing what works and what doesn't. And if I don't like something, I figure it's only paper, right? It's only paper. So I have those cut out ahead of time. We may do some more cutting. We'll see. All right. But let me get this stuff kind of put back together. So what did everybody else do on their weekend day? Anything fun and exciting? It's starting to get cooler here in Wisconsin. We've had some really mild weather though, so I can't really complain. I'm gonna do this Lost Lagoon and just see how it looks. Hopefully I can get it laid out on here right. We'll see. So how I lined it up is I just kind of looked at that framing piece. And it's kind of dark with the dark background, so you probably can't see real well. But I just lined it up with the framing piece and let everything else just kind of fall into place with it. And that looks really quite nice. Delicate but outlined. I really like that. Hey Bonnie, 33 by you. Yeah, we've been getting into the 30s overnight. And I'm not a fan of that, except we have family in the area, so we won't leave the family, you know? All right, and then we are going to do the Gorgeous Grape on this one. Oops, I just inked myself a little bit. And we'll line this one up again with that outline. Now normally I would stamp first and then line up my die and die cut it after I've stamped it. But I just wanted to get some of these pieces die cut ahead of time. So I'm doing it backwards. But with the photopolymer stamps, that's really easy to do. And I like that one too. It's very pretty. All right, so there we go. 2 of those. Let me get some stamp or some scratch paper here. Clean that off a little bit. And then decide, I think what I'll do is I'll stamp that sentiment on a few of the colors and we'll just see what looks good. And then we'll start layering some things. And I thought what I would try to do is, that's a little big for that one postage stamp. I think it might be a little big for this one. That might work. It'll just work. We'll have to see. We'll have to see how it looks. Otherwise, we can always do this one. That one might be better. It'll give a nice border around. We'll go with the bigger one. So tomorrow, I think I'm taking the day off. It's the first Sunday of an odd-numbered month, so I try to have my team time meetings on those Sundays, but only one of my gals that's local to me was available to attend, and we talked today because we actually taught the class together, and decided we're just going to postpone and do it a different day. I have been so incredibly swamped with stuff that I think my brain needs a little break. So let's do this. And then I don't think I want to do the Lost Lagoon as a sentiment just because I don't want it to be too drab, but you know what we could do? We could stamp this right on the designer series paper. I know it's a risk because sometimes it doesn't turn out right, but we're gonna go for it. And I might be a little crooked. Just a little bit. It's a little tilted down. So maybe I'll cant this on my card a little bit so it looks straight. They'll think I intended to do it that way. We'll see. So let's go ahead and close up the ink. We can get rid of this. And we may not even use this on here. I think that might actually, these might actually make a different card because I would have to put this like on a background or put the sentiment over it. It'll work for this one. All right. So this one, I think I'm just going to do that. I kind of like it. What do you think? And then let's die cut a couple of these and see which one looks the best for our plaid one. Because sometimes I just have to see it. A little big, so let's trim that down a little bit. You like it that way? Nice. I suppose I could trim this down even further. Now, when I do dies that have a harsh straight edge like that, I like to feed them through with the corner rather than the straight edge because it feeds through the machine easier. I think that's straight enough. So we had our granddaughter a couple of extra days this week too, which was fun. But it sure changes the energy level when you've got an 8-year-old when you're not young anymore, right? So we could put this here. And maybe, I don't know, we put this down here maybe. We could even tuck that under there maybe. And then, I mean, we could make this one really monochromatic with just all the, I don't know that I like this one with those, but we could put these on here. So I just start cutting stuff out and playing. So I think we'll go up with this, and then we could do these kind of like this with an extra little cluster. And I think what I'll do is I'll stamp on at least these two. We'll stamp these. Hello, Bonnie. All right, so I think we'll do that. Let me cut out these other couple of sentiments so we can play with them in different colors. Because you never know quite how it's going to look until you actually, for me, till I actually see it with the colors. Hopefully that's straight. Hello, Susan. Welcome. I decided it was time to pull out some Perennial Lavender and Perennial Postage because we haven't played with them for a bit. So you've got a hot 30 degrees Celsius. I don't know what that would be for Fahrenheit for us. I'd have to do a conversion, but you know, I'm a little busy crafting right now. For me, it's closer to probably, well, I think we're probably in the 40s still. So freezing for us is 32, which would be 0 Celsius. So we're closer to 0, Susan. I think that's how the conversion would go. I don't know, maybe not. Something like that. All right, so now we'll have a few choices as far as sentiments. And I'm going to put this right here so I don't lose it. All right, let's get this out of the way for now. We can always bring it back up if we need to. All right, so 86 by Susan. I could go for that. Vicki, I do think I saw that on one of my reports. And that's one of the things that I need to do tomorrow is look at all those things and give everybody a hello. Let me take a look. Yep. You are on the list under Juju, so welcome, welcome. That's been fun. All right, I need my stamps. Here they are. And I'm going to go with the little one and then the taller one, and we'll add some color there. So that was just such a smoking hot deal. I was glad so many people took advantage of it. I had quite a few that added to my team. And technically you're on my team because you're under Juju and she joined under me. So fun times. So now you can see all of the pre-order things. So like these, you could actually purchase because you have access to the pre-order. Yeah, and we need to have like, for you ladies that are not local to me, I told Juju we can do like a Zoom meeting or something. I don't know if Hey Mac Man's here. Hey Juju. I had suggested to Juju that we could do like maybe a Google Teams meeting or a Zoom meeting or something. And, you know, if you gals have questions about how to make it through the website and, you know, find resources and stuff, I could help walk you through some of that stuff. So, yeah, MacMan came in. Oops, I don't want to do it on that one. I want to do Gorgeous Grape on this one. he came in kind of quietly to say goodnight because it was like right at midnight. It's like, oh my goodness, I'm going to be late. And then YouTube didn't want to play nice, so technically I came on at 12:01. Yeah, so I try to have team time, like a team meeting. I might have done that a little bit crooked. That'll be all right. I try to do that every other month with my local gals, and now that there are quite a few of you that it's a longer commute, I figure we will transition and do an online version in addition to or in combination with the team time. So I just want to make sure that, you know, if you gals have questions, they get answered. And, you know, you should have, I need to invite all of you to our Facebook group too, those of you that have joined, because I put announcements on there as well. Probably not as often as I should, but I do. And there's some other demonstrator groups too that you can get a lot of really good ideas. That one turned out pretty good. And these shapes I just die cut out of the designer series paper. And for those of you that came in late, this is the Perennial Lavender paper that we've had around for actually a couple of catalog cycles. And I'm guessing maybe this time it's going to go away when we get a new catalog. We'll see. Oh, Bonnie, you need to figure out how to get back into your account. Yeah, that's, I can help you with that. Whoops. I can definitely help with that. So we could do like a Zoom time or something too. And here's my, oh, that's my store. Here's my email address. So it's just LoriMcCarry@gmail.com. So if you want to email me, or send me a messenger through Lori's Little Bit of Crafting, you can send me a direct message that way. I think that'll work, and we'll figure out ways to connect. Because there's just plenty of fun stuff. So I'm going to put this a little canted because my sentiment was a little crooked. And I think if I do that, it's going to look intentional that it's canted. You didn't miss 2 cards already. I just had some of these pre-cut. Surprise! I was playing ahead of time. Because I just wanted to cut out some of these items because I hadn't played with this new set yet. So this is the Friendly Foliage. So the Friendly Foliage stamp set. Oh, I didn't even notice that one. See, there's so much you miss. But I took all of my dies, and I do this a lot. When I get a new set, I will just start cutting things out and then just start laying them together, which is what I did here. I took the designer series paper, I looked at what colors were in there, I grabbed some colors, and then just started cutting and laying out, and this is what we have. So there wasn't a whole lot of thought in here. It was just kind of random. We got what we got. So if you did come in late, this die set is kind of cool because we have this outline piece that goes with this stamp, right? But there's also this inside piece that cuts out the leaves. So you actually get both. So if you get this and you're cutting them out, put this piece on your plates first. And then, hello Bonnie, hello Tanya. I don't know if Bonnie, if you're just popping in, Bonnie M. So anyway, lay this one on your cutting plate first, and then put this one over it. And if you have to adjust like your borders, let me just give you a white piece. So if you have to adjust your borders rather than trying to move around that centerpiece, take the outer piece and move it around. And it works a little bit better. All right, because now when I move the inside piece, then I've got it off there. But if I move the outside piece, it's just a little easier to get everything lined up how you want it. All right. Okay, I couldn't remember. Oh, I'm thinking I did see the unicorns. So, sorry. It's been a long day, but a fun day. All right, so what was I just going to do? Try not to lose my mind. All right, so here we've got these little foliage pieces. I did the die cuts out of Designer Series paper. So I thought I would just kind of put those with the sentiment, maybe. But we might not even need it. I mean, it might just look better just like this. Think on that. We already decided that this piece is going on this Lost Lagoon, but I have to have it canted because I got a little crooked because I couldn't put my head over everything. I got a little bit of a nap. So I taught this class all day, and friends of ours had offered us some had offered us some homemade soup. And MacMan said, well, I'm taking the lady out for dinner, or the young lady. I think he called me young lady. I'm taking her out for dinner when she's done teaching her class. So we just started driving. We were going to go to one restaurant that's in another city. Not that it's that far away. It's probably like within half an hour. And he drove by an old supper club. So we decided to go to the supper club. We'd never been there before, but it was really pretty good. So I slept a little bit on the car there. I slept a little bit on the way back. And then I kind of like crashed on the couch and just really zoned out for a little bit. So yeah, I get it. All right. So what do you think? This one, should we leave it as it is, or should we put some of the little foliage pieces in there? And then we could always dash it up with a little contrasting color, but I kind of like the more monochromatic. So you'd have to probably convince me to use that on here. So I think for right now, I'm going to go ahead and glue this on so we can have some of that stuff done. Okay, Bonnie, I like your thought process, because I agree with you. But I'll kind of defer to the group, because I do like these to be collaborative. All right. Jinx. All right, so these you think need the green or not? Yeah, I could go for 9 hours of sleep if I could lay there that long, but then my back gets too sore. I can't stay in bed that long. All right. I know, the little 15-minute naps don't really work, do they? I have to have at least 20. When we had our granddaughter, she was here. Yesterday was Friday, right? Yeah. So Friday, we were doing stuff in the morning, and then I think we went out for lunch or something, and we got home, and I was really tired. And I'm like, okay, cool. Cool on the purple. I said, well, maybe we should take a nap. And she's like, yeah, okay. So we took like an hour and a half nap. Well, she napped for about an hour and a half. I nap a little bit and wake up and nap a little bit. But she thinks it's cool to camp out on our bed. So you can put some gems in that top right-hand corner. Yes. And I have a couple of gems here that I pulled out. These are flower accents that are kind of bright gold. You might not like those, but these are the brushed butterflies that are still, these are still available. And somebody took a butterfly off of here without taking the little glue bit. So we'll get that out of there. So I thought these butterflies would look cute. But something just give it brightness, right? So I'm going to put this up on dimensionals for sure. And then I don't know if we put this on dimensionals too, I have to double this. I can look for some purple gems and we can see how those would look. Or we can turn them purple if I have... Gorgeous Grape does not have an alcohol blend. But I do in the Highland Heather. I think that one's got an alcohol blend. We could make them purple. So let's... Those are kind of pink. Well, here we go. These might not be current though. Let me... Purple Fine Shimmer. Let me look these up and see if they're current. So if you wanted them, you'd at least know that you could get them. Yeah, these are still current, so this would be good. These are faceted, and they actually have 3 shades. So this is like Highland Heather. This is Gorgeous Grape, and I think this is probably Blackberry Bliss. Looks closest to me, and those are all purple shades. On the squares, I would collage some of them. The butterflies are really nice because the thing with the butterflies, whatever I did with them, oh, right here, duh, right in front of my face. These are super flat. So these mail really, really nice. Yeah, because they are super flat. So, so are we thinking when you say collage some of them, are you talking about the purple and the butterflies? Yeah, I have lots of gems too, but we do need them. All right, so I don't know if I should put this up. I could put this up on a strip. Oh, I know what I'll do. I'll take one of these off. Yes, super flat, get a couple of sets. Absolutely. All right, let me put that back there. I'm going to put adhesive strips on the back of this because I think that might work. So because these are narrower, that should work. And I'll just put a few of these on to prop it up. Butterflies and gems. We'll get that oral because I think they'll look good together. I've been using a lot of these adhesive strips lately, and I haven't even been making shaker cards. Because there's been a lot of things that have just been narrow that I've wanted to lift up. And then I think I'll put a little piece, a couple of pieces maybe in the middles here. Oops. I think that'll work. There's a little bit of this one showing through, so I'm just going to trim that a little bit. So if you're doing ladies on junk journaling, where do you put the gems? You set it on their faces? Like to make them diamond art kind of faces, or... Oh, I should probably put a piece up there too. I don't want that to fall flat. It's just a little long. Oh, earrings. That would make sense, yeah. Some in their hair. Since I don't do junk journaling, I don't have a vision. I have to see stuff or have it explained to me. I still consider myself a junk journal virgin because I've never done junk journaling. Okay, I think I have that all off. And if we put this, oh, that one's a little tall. That'll be all right. All right, so you like that, Juju? Oh, Bonnie, yeah, you laughed at me. I'm a junk journal virgin. I think that's pretty straight. And then this then, because I took the dimensional off of here, it won't be double high. I'll just put a little bit of glue on here. Well, Juju does videos every day. Or almost every day, depending on work. And she is crafting on the back 40. I've watched hers. And then Pam, the ginger cat lady, does videos. Kathleen Mower, I don't know who that is. I haven't watched her. Oops, I suppose I should peel these off. So I imagine there are a lot out there to learn from. For me, it's just more a matter of time. All right, so if we put some of these gems on here, we could Shabby Dabby Doodah. Is that another one, Juju? Ladybug Journal. Okay, those are ones that I don't think I've noticed. I definitely haven't visited their videos. All right, so let's move these out of the way. Oh, and I hope we were good with that lavender one. Do we like the lavender or the crumb cake better? Lavender or crumb cake? Any suggestions? Okay, good, because that one's already glued on. You were the first one that I saw comment. So, all right, let's go ahead. And I'm not going to use these. These are either Berry Burst or Blackberry Bliss. So we'll put a bunch of these on. I think maybe the darker ones because they're gorgeous grape. We'll put a few of those on. We'll get a couple of butterflies. There's no flower on here, but that doesn't mean a butterfly couldn't be there, right? Too many? Or do we need something there? Maybe I should put a butterfly there instead. We'll put it over here. There. And then maybe a little flicker with some Wink of Stella. I was putting this on cards earlier. I think this one is starting to get a little low. I can see it dripping in here. There we go. All right, I like that one too. You ladies did a good job. All right, so let's take a look at this one then. And this can go on a different card, obviously, because we use the designer series paper. That would make a pretty topper on another purple journal. This you're talking about? You work your magic with the journals. All right. I think we're good with that stamped on the paper, even though it got a little crooked. I don't think anybody's going to know. I don't think anybody will be the wiser except for us, and this is like Vegas, right? So, I don't even know. Do we need much else on here? We could probably put a couple of these little sprigs on. I like this one. Maybe I should cut some more of these. And we could just add a couple of those in here. And some gems. What a simple card is that? Right? You know, I used to get books when our library would get rid of like their old books. You could either buy them really cheap or they gave them away for free. Do libraries still do that? I don't have a big library by us anymore. It's kind of small. Let me do a couple more of these. Oh, this one. I can use this one. Would kind of two of these clustered? That could kind of be there. Maybe another one. Or do you think just leave it off? That's too in-your-face white. Start a trend, Susan. Be the change you want to see, right? So I'm thinking maybe just some gems on there. Yeah, oh, Juju, you agree. So yeah, these just kind of muddy it up a little bit. And I think this makes it look, I don't know, I guess that isn't too bad. But you know what I could have done? I could have just stamped some of that on there too. But I think it looks all right. Just the gems. All right, I think I'll do the lighter ones on this one. We might need more on this one. Now, this little butterfly is upside down. Did anybody notice that? So these two are right side up, and this one is upside down. I think because of how it was to be like journaling paper, maybe. So I don't know if maybe I should cover up the butterfly with those in the corner. I don't know. We could do something like that to cover up the butterfly. Put two of those on there. It's flying to the flower up because some of those flowers are upside down. Nobody will probably even notice, just me. All right, so that one's done. I like that one too. Now, I have these bits and pieces, so I don't know if we're actually going to use them at all, which is kind of a shame because some of these are pretty. I like these delicate die cut ones. But if we don't use it, it's not a big deal. That's kind of pretty. That could make another card like this with Lost Lagoon. Let's pull out. Oh, I have an idea. I'm letting that butterfly fly free. You got it. I have an idea. I need to get a piece of white cardstock. I'm sure the suspense is killing ya. Alright, so we're going to do quarter, 4. So I have a little layer here. Does Sala sell her journals? She's in Finland. I know she sells some things. I just don't know what her repertoire is. So I'm looking for this embossing folder. And we're going to go with Bossy Bessie. Let's move these over. And this is a 3D embossing folder, so I just need the 2 plates, number 1 and number 4. And I want this to go up and down. So this pattern runs up and down. So I'm going to use this straight line here to line up my paper to try to get the design to go straight as it's intended. And we'll run that through. Bonnie L, you're funny. Make another card. Make another card. Once you get going, you know, why not make another card? What's one more when you have extra pieces, right? And you never know what's going to turn out because I usually don't have it planned. Because I'm a fly by the seat of my pants kind of girl. All right, so, oh, I suppose I should get a card base, huh? So if we do this and these, oh, and I think we'll do, maybe we should do the Highland Heather, make it a little lighter. We'll try that. And I happen to have a card base already ready. And I always tell people sleep is overrated. I had maybe about 4 hours last night because I was up late and then I was reviewing the materials for the class I had to teach today, and usually around 6 is good for me. When I get more than that, I get kind of sluggish. I know my health apps say I should be having 8. I'm like, that's just a waste of time. All right, so that's going to go there. So let's get a little bit of glue on this layer here. So I've got a regular size card base, so it's 8.5 by 5.5. Scored at 4 1/4. And then my layer is 4 by 5 1/4. I ran it through an embossing folder. And then I'm going to take this piece and I'm going to cut it down. We might want to use, oh, that might be pretty. All right, so anyway, this is 1.25 inches, so I'm going to go like 1 3/4 inches. We'll see how this looks. I do get an extra hour tonight. I gotta remember to change clocks. 5 1/4. I won't know what to do with myself. So this would go here and this would go here. Oh, that's too wide. I need to cut 1/4 inch off of here. I don't like it that wide. My son is a musician. So Susan, it's funny you should say that. When my son was in high school, one night he was up. He said he couldn't sleep. He had music in his head and he had to write it down. I'm like, ooh, that's pretty wild. But I think that's how it is with creative types. You know, you have all this stuff going on in your brain and then you get up and you can't get back to sleep until you've let that flow. So we could do, I don't think I like that. I don't think I like that with this. I had originally thought we could do this, but I don't like the green with that. We could do this instead. Let's just start cutting. We're gonna do, I think I'm just, let's see. I need to see how wide I actually made this. So if that's 1 inch, I'll do this 1 1/4 by 5 1/4. My Facebook group is Lori's Little Bit of Craftin'. My team group is a little bit more. There is hope for you, Susan. Us left-handed people are the only ones in our right minds. Literally. The right side of the brain controls the left side of the body, so. All right, so we'll put this here. I am going to save this for another card. I don't like that with this set. You know, with this thing. But we could maybe put some of these on here. Or I could get different foliage pieces all together. Just a little splash of green in there. That Lost Lagoon. Couple little sprigs there. What do you think? I will save these and these and these. I'm not sure that I like these. These are just kind of, I don't know, kind of clunky to me. I'm sure if I see them on something, I'll be like, oh, that's really cool. But it's just not working for me tonight with that. So let me get some ink. We'll do some ink blending on here. Get a little Highland Heather going on. Yeah, my team group I don't list on YouTube at all, and Facebook is the same as my YouTube. Although YouTube, I think if you look up Late Night Lori, it comes up too. They do look like snowshoes. I thought I was the only one that thought that, and I didn't want to say it because then I thought people wouldn't be able to unsee it. But they do look like snowshoes. And I'm just using my glass mat as my palette basically here. You probably can't see, I just blended some of the ink like on there to get that harsh edge of ink off, and then I can just pick it up from there and bring it in. So if you can find me as Lori Macari on Facebook, what does my picture look like on my Facebook? It just, if you go to Lori Macari on Facebook, you will see just a headshot of me, like with Stampin' Inks behind me. Either that or just shoot me a message with your Facebook, and I'll try to do like a friend request, because then I can, if we're friends on Facebook, then I can invite you to my group page as well. All right, so we could do that. And I'm thinking maybe just a couple little sprigs. And I think I'm just gonna put these in the recycle bin because I don't know that I'll use them. But I think I want to cut a couple more of those. I just need to grab those dies. And I think I'll do different shades of the purples. And we'll get a little variation there. Okay, Susan, I just saw your friend request. Maybe we'll do a couple of fresh freesia too. Oh, I think that'll look good. So I've got, this is out of the Designer Series paper, and then I'll do some in the cardstock and we'll see how that looks. And we can always make this, poor snowshoes, they don't even know what hit them. I'm just going to add a little bit more color on here from the Highland Heather. It's not super dark, but I think it's just enough to give it a little bit of personality, I guess. All right, die, little machine. I love my little machine too. It's so portable. I can take this when I go traveling too because it's so compact. My son, the musician, is also left-handed, although my daughter is creative too. She does Stampin' Up! Stuff and other creative outlets. She's right-handed, so I guess it's not just left-handed people. Oh, good. I'm glad you found that. So this one, you should be able to just put a request to join. Well, no, that one I don't even think I have to approve for my regular Facebook page. But the one that is my group page, a little bit more, that one you have to ask and I'll grant permission. Because that's limited to just my team and my extended team. Hi, Donna. Welcome. We've not seen you for a couple of days either. I don't know if this is going to work today. This is kind of small. I couldn't get these to pop out when I was cutting them earlier. Some of my dies I can just throw down like that. I think I mentioned yesterday the gals that were here for my ghouls night, they were throwing the dies on the floor, so there's all kinds of little pieces of paper on my floor. That was pretty funny. And my granddaughter, when she did one of her lives, she whipped a die down to get the stuff to pop out, and everybody that saw it thought it was pretty funny. And then she says to me, I want to be like you, Grandma. Melts my heart. Alright, so I'm just going to get these all laid out, and we can see if I need more of a certain color or if just these few of them would be enough. And I'm going to throw that there so I don't lose it. See how small this is? And it's so light. I love that one. All right, so let's get rid of this green one. I don't think I like the Lost Lagoon. But let's take a look at these. So if we put this like this. Now this is the same layout we did a couple of nights ago, if you remember. And you know what would be probably cute is to just have, I don't know if I want those. I kind of like them coming out of the purple side rather than just hanging loose on the white side. Grandkids are the best. You can spoil them, feed them all kinds of sugar, and then send them home. Although she stays with us quite a bit, so sometimes that backfires. I think I'm going to glue these two pieces together because they're moving too much, and then I'm spending too much. So Bonnie, you like your little Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, or you like grandkids, love grandkids? A couple of comments were popping in there at the same time. That'll work. I'm going to put that light one in between these other ones. We could even do something like this. What do you think of that? That might work. Kind of up on dimensionals. And I have one more, but I don't know that we need it. So that's kind of the same layout as this one that we did a couple of nights ago. Similar. Your machine, yeah. That's what I thought you meant, and then I looked at the comment that said, grandkids are the best. And then I thought I might have had the wrong comment. And then we could do these again. I think these will look nice on here. Maybe the darker. We could probably just mix these up. We'll go here. And then if I like that one there. So on the other side, like on the right-hand side, now that they're kind of covered, I guess those might stay there because it stuck really well. So I think the other thing I might want to do, I'm going to go ahead and put some seal on here. And then I'm going to kind of pick these up maybe. We'll see if that works. Let's try these a little bit more. Does that look too symmetrical? I don't want it to look dopey. There. I'll need to put more. I'll probably need to put tear and tape on for that one. Yeah, we'll do some tear and tape. I think that'll work. Oops. Doesn't want to let go. There we go. There we go. I think that'll be all right. All right, and I think I want to soften up these edges a little bit because it's really bright white to me. And dimensionals, I had them out here. They're there. I think that'll work. I got a little smudging on there, I think. I may need to camouflage it. Or I could get a marker and do some splatter. All right. That's it. All right, let's get these things out of the way and find my other two cards. So here's what we did tonight. This one was probably my favorite because it was the simplest. Fun though, very fun. All right, so I will hopefully tomorrow get caught up on some more pictures to put on my Facebook page. If you see one of the ones that you particularly like and you want to add a comment, maybe with something you made that's similar or you were inspired by this one, add pictures in the comments. I love to see things, and I know I've been behind, so a lot of people don't post on there, but I like it when you do. And then those of you that have joined either through me or through Juju or through my other team member, Lori, we'll get you in these few Facebook groups, and we'll go from there. Thank you, Juju. You're welcome, Bonnie. Thanks for popping in, everybody. I'm going to call it a night. I'm going to try to clean this stuff up, and I'm going to get a few hours of sleep, I think. So until next time, happy crafting. Yep. Goodbye, ladies. Good night. And you are welcome, Bonnie. I'm glad everybody came and hung out with me. Happy crafting.